now I'm happy to present Wendi Ezgur, this year's alumni convocation speaker. Wendi graduated in 1989 and made bronze tablet, which is the highest ranking honor that you can receive on this campus. Ms. Ezgur holds a degree in speech communication from our department and is CEO of Leadhead Inc., an idea generation company that she founded in 1992. We are honored that she's able to join us here today. Please join me in welcoming our 2019 Alumni Convocation Speaker, Wendi Ezgur.
Down goes the podium. Thank you, John, very much for that kind intro. And hello, 2019 University of Illinois Communication graduates. Give yourselves a round. Well done, I must say well done. And a quick shout out to Barbara Hall, who many of you have had the good fortune of working with in this department. She's had an outstanding 30-year career here, and she is a quintessential communicator and connector, and probably one of the main reasons I'm standing up here today. Speaking of today, it is a hat trick for me. It's a triple thrill. It's Mother's Day. My firstborn, Aiden, will be walking across the stage. My husband, Michael Ezgur, and I met at this university 30 years ago and graduated from this very department 30 years ago today. And perhaps the biggest thrill and the biggest honor of the day is speaking to each and every one of you on such a very, very auspicious occasion. So I thank you for that honor. I do, however, have to come clean. When I thought about my own graduation and commencement and convocation, I could not remember who the speaker was, any of them. And not only could I not remember who the speaker was, I could not recall one single word. This put a little bit of fear into me, and then I thought, well, I at least need to have each and every one of you leaving these hallowed halls with at least one word. This is a word that was introduced to our language in the year 1745, and here's the word: taradiddle. Taradiddle. T-A-R-A-diddle. So we're gonna sear it into the brain, we're gonna do a call and response. When I say Tara, you say diddle, and I wanna hear it loud. Ready? Tara.
Diddle.
Tara.
Diddle.
Tara.
Diddle.
Excellent. Taradiddle. What does it mean? It's very easy. It's a two-word definition. Pretentious nonsense. I certainly hope I will not deliver that today, but as you leave and go into the world, if somebody is spewing that forth, you can certainly listen and say at the end, wow, that was pure taradiddle. They won't know that you might be actually criticizing. Anyway, with the one word out of the way, let us proceed to the topic of the day, as Lynn so eloquently mentioned, communication. And when I thought back on it and thought about it, the mind-blowing growth of communication since I sat where you did 30 years ago today. There was no internet, there were no cell phones, and the channels of communication were much less than they are today. As you sit right here, right now, you can be pushing out content and communication 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, 365 days a year. You can also be receiving content and communication at that same rate. And the sheer channels of communication number in the thousands, and they grow exponentially every year. So that led me to thinking, is there one channel of communication that's more important than all others? And I sat thinking, and it very quickly came to me that of course, yes, there is one all-important channel of communication. It is omnipresent. Every human being on the planet has it and uses it every day. It is a channel of communication that can inspire us to follow our dreams or stop us dead in our tracks. And that communication that I am talking about is inside your very head. It is the way we communicate with ourselves. And if you're like every other human being on the planet, that communication in your head can either be negative or positive. And what science has shown is that the overwhelming percentage of internal communication, how you speak to yourself, is negative. And that is something I want to talk to you about. First of all, why is it that way? Well, when you have negative communication, your brain, the neuroscience, the actual way your brain is hardwired, is scanning constantly and consistently for bad news and negative events. That's a little bit scary, but it does that because it wants to put it into long-term memory so it can be called up on demand when in need. And unfortunately, nothing in your brain is looking for good news or moments of success or positive events. But I'm going to tell you where I learned this, why your brain does it, and what you can do about it. So first of all, let me just start. I'm talking a lot about negativity. Let me talk a little bit about a piece of news, a great piece of news that I'm going to give you all today. It possibly is the best thing you're going to hear. Well, you're going to hear your name when you walk across the stage. That's a little bit hard for me to compete with. But the best piece of news you're going to hear today is that those negative thoughts, that judgment, that criticism that goes through your head, it's not you. You don't put those thoughts there. Your brain, the literal way your brain is hardwired, it puts those there. And your cognitive self, your thinking self, who you are as a person, doesn't put those there. And I'll tell you where I learned it. I was given the honor of observing the United States Army do their resilience training. And they were training 150 officers. And as I learned, the Army has learned that for the past 200 years, they have focused on the neck down, strong bodies, strong bodies. And they now realize if they want the strongest men and women serving our country, they need to focus on the neck up. They need to focus on what's going on inside their heads. And when they talked about resilience and they tried to train these officers in how to be resilient, because resilience is something that can be taught and it is something that can be increased in every human being, they talked about the brain science called negativity bias. And that is, as I said, actually the amygdala, the alarm bell of your brain that is scanning for the negative news and the bad events. And it does this. Why does it do this? Seems unfair, but it does it to save your life. If you think about a toddler walking near a hot stove, if she gets too close and touches it, she gets burned. The amygdala, it's scanning, it sees a negative event, and it goes right into long-term storage, right into long-term memory, so that the next time she's walking near the hot stove, it starts saying, you got burned last time, you got too close and it really hurt. Or the caveman who's out hunting for food and he doesn't pay attention to the rustling in the leaves behind him, and a saber-toothed tiger comes out and almost mauls him to death. You can be sure that when he's in the cave getting dressed to go out hunting the next time, and he grabs his spear, the brain is going to pull out that into that long-term memory and automatically say, you almost got killed last time. You almost got killed when you went hunting. Pay attention, pay attention. So what does that look like in the 21st century? We're not really out there hunting for food every day, but our brain is still looking for instances of danger or risk, or instances where we may be in jeopardy of being hurt or disappointed. And what that might look like is, you may have gone on 5 interviews and not gotten 1 job offer. The next time you're going on the 6th, your brain may say, you've done this before. You failed. You haven't gotten the last 5. What makes you think you're going to get this one? Be careful, be careful. Because it's trying to protect you from being hurt or disappointed. Okay, what can we do about it? If the brain isn't scanning for positive events, what can we do about it? Well, here is where you, your cognitive thinking self, you, the human being, can think about instances where you have succeeded, instances where there was good news, instances where something positive did occur. You did persevere, you did meet the challenge, you did succeed. And all that needs to be done, back according to neuroscience and brain science, is that you focus on that positive event, on that instance of success. You keep it in your conscious thought for only 12 seconds or more. You can do it. I mean, I know we're in a fast-paced world and 12 seconds seems long when you're watching a YouTube video, but you can do this. So I want to think about for a minute, I want to put one in there. I want you to leave with one that you all have. It's pretty amazing that all of you have the same one today. So I want you to either hold on to the tassel that's on your cap or the corner of your cap and touch your gown and look around at the people next to you and down the row from you and look up at this great hall. We are in an amazing hallowed space. And think about the fact, we're going to do it for 12 seconds, we're 5 seconds in, that you did it. You did this. You did it. You set out to earn a degree from one of the highest institutions in the world, and you did it. And I am sure that through your years here, there were many, many challenges along the way that you overcame. And you're sitting here today, and that is no small feat. And that is something that you can always conjure up when you're doubting whether you can do something that's hard or challenging. You all did this. Now we've put one into your long-term memory to be conjured up, automatically recalled when in need. So I do want you to think about the fact that that voice that was just in your head when you thought about how you did it and what you did and what you accomplished, that voice, that focus, that success, that's you. And you're gonna need you, because the more effectively you can communicate with yourself, the more you can believe in yourself, the more you will succeed. And also, the more effectively you can communicate with yourself and believe in yourself, the more effectively you can communicate with and believe in others. And that is truly the way to change the world. So, congratulations once again, and enjoy the day.
This is important to Recognition of our students' academic achievements is one of the most pleasant tasks for any university faculty. Students will be introduced in alphabetical order by degree. We ask that you hold your applause until each group of candidates has been announced. Our photographer will take photos of each graduate as they are greeted by the dean and again as they leave the stage. The candidates for the Bachelor of Arts in Communication will be presented by Professor John Murphy.